and the stability miner is really the heart of it.
You could say that, yes, because that's the supporting of the peg.
So you've got a couple of things here with the stability miner. You've got a RNG that is a random number generator multiplier. It says between 0 and 2x.
Yes,
you've also got the stability duration here, which has got 120 hours, 240 hours, and 260 hours.
Yeah, this page will get updated very soon. We have a completely new layout of it.
Okay, cool. So you got this. You got this. You've also, is this where the miner process to support the stablecoin and the what you call the integrated liquidity pool or the IPOL works here?
Well, this is where you deploy capital into a contract that acts towards that pool, yes. The integrated protocol pool will be the pool that contains PUSD and whatever token we choose to pair it with. Right now, I think it will be DAI, but we are actually considering switching that up because when you really think deep about it, having DAI, which is a bridged in on a Richard's centralized key, is probably not the perfect scenario.
I was going to ask you that. So it's good that you're addressing it. Yeah.
But I think if the keys to the bridge gets compromised, I think we have a lot of big problems. So
we do.
I'm not entirely sure if anything on Pulse Chain would keep its value if that happened. Even so.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. It would be a death blow. Yeah, death blow. Yeah.
But I do have some. We are considering some alternative options where we are pegging it to something else. And one of the very interesting ideas I think is that we can actually pool it to USDL, which will be the liquid loans, right?
So I think that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
The funny thing about that is that. Have you ever heard Richard say how Hex is piggybacking on Ethereum's consensus?
Yes.
This would be the same thing.
Because you got PLS as a collateral of USDL, and then you are pigging back on USDL, so back to Pulse, which is the main coin. It makes a lot of sense.
Basically, what we are going to do is that we will have liquidations on liquid loan users to stabilize a peg that we are just simply manipulating and using to our advantage. So instead of having the bridge keys as the fallback point, we just have the liquidity product as the fallback point. But in the meanwhile, we can actually scale the TVL to significantly larger heights simply because of how this protocol is built.
Yeah. Oh man, you're getting me excited here, Jacob, about that.
It is a pretty funny perspective, actually.
Yeah. So have we, with the stability miner, we've got different tokens. So we've got this RNG, we've got these time locks, we've got this liquidity provision, and you say you may add USDL into here. Is that
this is a very early prototype.
Very early protocol.
But I can explain it just in brief detail. So basically the idea is that you deploy capital of any choice. It can be anything as long as it has a LP where we can pull dollars from, right?
Okay, cool.
So you select what capital you want to deploy, and then you select the duration. For how long would you essentially like to lend us your capital? Because the protocol needs capital to defend the peg, right?
Yes.
And the way it works is that the longer you want to lend us capital to defend the peg, and the more you want to lend us, just like Hex, the bigger pays better, longer pays better. It's the same thing. So you will get a rewards paid out in inflationary algo, some wrapped stable coins, and some flex for starting a stability miner. And it's basically an attempt to help Pulse Chain in some ways. If you are a community member that really wants to help Pulse Chain, but how could you spend your capital better than supporting a algorithmic stablecoin? I'm just asking, right? Because that would be an amazing adoption tool. And if the peg doesn't deviate significantly under 1, when this stability miner ends, not only will you still have all of your capital, but you have reaped the inflationary rewards, right? Because you didn't have to use your capital to defend the peg, because the third-party contract miners, arbitrage miners, they did it themselves, right? The market has so much trust in this protocol that we don't even need to spend the stability miner's capital to actually make it successful, right? It more becomes this fallback mechanism, actually. So it's kind of interesting that a stability miner can not only get their capital back, but they also get the rewards. But sometimes, let's say there's pressure, there's sell pressure on the stablecoin, and now the peg is under pressure, right? What will happen is that these stability miners will slowly spend the capital to buy it up. And what we will do is that we will exchange your capital for the discounted stablecoin that it bought up during that defending process, right? So actually, the interesting part is that when you lose capital in the miner, you are guaranteed that you are getting a discounted stablecoin out of it, like a good deal almost, right? And that is also, there's some interesting aspects of that.
That's pretty awesome. So with those, if you have to defend the peg, some of these returns, these algo, these wrapped PUSD stablecoin and the earn flex, they are coming from different sources. So the algo potentially and the P is coming from the miner defending the peg. Is that the right understanding?
The algo is simply a inflationary reward for doing an action in the protocol. Just like when you stake hex, you get a hex inflation, right?
Is that true of all of these? You got the flex as the incentive token there. You getting that too?
The flex one you get immediately. The other two you get when you exit the miner. Basically, when you have proven that you have done what you said you want to do, you wanted to lend the protocol this amount of time. When you have served that amount of time, you can exit the miner and you will get the inflationary rewards plus whatever capital or discounted stablecoin back. Yeah.
Okay. So these rewards are largely from inflation. Yep.
Yes, and it really, these rewards could easily have been from overpeg scenarios or from trading fee scenarios or from minting scenarios. But it doesn't really matter because when we have complete control over the mint and burn, I think that what's more important is that we direct those profit scenarios into the earn program, because the earn program is what's driving the activity inside of the ecosystem.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on to the end protocol. So that's kind of the main engine there, is to provide liquidity and support the miners to do their work if they need to support the price of PUSD.